Welcome to Worldwide Travel Adventures. Today we're going to visit the amazing country of Japan, and I would appreciate it if you would help me out by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Also, check out the link for a $25 restaurant voucher in the description of the video as a thank you for subscribing. So let's dive headfirst into the land of the rising sun. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or a first-time visitor, this island nation has something for everyone. From neon-drenched cities to serene mountain temples, bustling street food markets to tranquil bamboo forests, Japan is a land of contrasts. And trust me, it's absolutely chock full of incredible places to explore. We're talking ancient wonders, stunning natural beauty, and experiences you won't find anywhere else. In this video, we're going to be your guide, taking you on a whirlwind tour of the top 30 must-visit spots in Japan. So buckle up and get ready for a fun ride. First up, it's Tokyo, the sprawling metropolis that truly embodies the phrase organized chaos. Imagine a city where ancient temples nestle amongst towering skyscrapers, where cutting-edge technology meets traditional tea ceremonies. That's Tokyo in a nutshell. The best time to experience this urban jungle is in spring, when the cherry blossoms are in full bloom, or autumn, when the leaves turn into a breathtaking tapestry of reds and golds. Now you can't visit Tokyo without sampling the culinary delights, right? Be sure to try some authentic ramen, indulge in some melt-in-your-mouth sushi, and, if you're feeling brave, maybe even give natto a go. For those of you with little adventurers in tow, Tokyo Disneyland and the Ghibli Museum are absolute must-visits. Trust me, you'll earn some serious brownie points. Next stop, we're whisking you away from the futuristic frenzy of Tokyo to the ancient capital of Japan, Kyoto. This city is practically an open-air museum, overflowing with temples, shrines, and traditional wooden houses. For a truly immersive experience, ditch the taxis and explore Kyoto's backstreets on foot. You'll stumble upon hidden gems, traditional tea houses, and maybe even a geisha or two. One place you absolutely can't miss is the Fushimi Inari Shrine. With its thousands of vibrant red torii gates snaking up the mountainside, it's a sight that'll stay with you long after you leave. And if you're looking for that perfect Instagram shot, head to the Hiroshima Bamboo Grove. Walking through this forest of towering bamboo stalks is like stepping into another world. Alright, let's talk Osaka. This city is a food lover's paradise. Forget your fancy Tokyo restaurants. Osaka is all about that street food life, and believe me, it's incredible. First up, you gotta try the takoyaki. These little octopus balls are like a flavor explosion in your mouth. Crispy on the outside, gooey on the inside, and absolutely drowning in sauce and mayo. And speaking of sauce, don't even think about leaving Osaka without trying okonomiyaki. This savory pancake is piled high with cabbage, meat, and whatever else your heart desires, all slathered in that iconic okonomiyaki sauce. It's messy, it's delicious, it's Osaka in a nutshell. Now if you're feeling adventurous, and let's be honest you gotta try kushikatsu. These deep-fried skewers come with all sorts of goodies, from meat and veggies to, well, more unusual things. Just remember the golden rule, no double dipping. Wash it all down with a cold beer or maybe some local sake and you'll be ready to take on the rest of what this amazing city has to offer. Let's swap the neon lights of Osaka for the natural beauty of Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island. This place is an absolute stunner, with snow-capped mountains, pristine lakes, and more wildlife than you can shake a stick at. First up on the Hokkaido hit list has got to be Bee. This town is like something out of a fairy tale, with rolling hills covered in patchwork fields of flowers. It's the kind of place that'll make you want to grab your camera and start snapping away. And speaking of picturesque landscapes, you can't miss the Shikisai no Oka. These colorful flower fields are like something out of a dream. Imagine a rainbow splashed across the landscape and you're getting close. It's the perfect spot for a stroll, a picnic, or just a good old-fashioned Instagram photo shoot. Now, if you're a fan of the great outdoors, then a trip to Daisatsuzen National Park is a must. This place is a hiker's paradise with trails winding through ancient forests, past volcanic hot springs, and up to breathtaking mountain peaks. Just keep an eye out for bears, they like to call this place home too. Now let's swap the chilly north for the tropical paradise of Okinawa, Japan's southernmost prefecture. This chain of islands is like a little slice of heaven, with crystal clear waters, pristine beaches, and a culture all of its own. Now, first up on the Okinawa agenda has got to be hitting the beach. Whether you're a sunbather, a swimmer, or a snorkeling enthusiast, these beaches won't disappoint. Picture white sand, turquoise waters, and more coral reefs than you can shake a snorkel at. And speaking of underwater adventures, Okinawa is a diver's paradise. The waters here are teeming with marine life, From colorful fish and graceful manta rays to, if you're lucky, even the occasional whale shark. Just remember to be respectful of the marine environment and avoid touching or disturbing the coral. Now, if you can drag yourself away from the beach, Okinawa has plenty more to offer. For a taste of history, head to Shirijo Castle, the former palace of the Ryukyu Kingdom. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is a fascinating glimpse into Okinawa's unique cultural heritage. Hiroshima is next. It's a city that needs little introduction, does it? A place forever etched into history. But beyond the weight of its past, Hiroshima today is a testament to human resilience. A vibrant city rebuilt with a spirit that's hard not to admire. Visiting Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park is, of course, a must. It's a somber experience walking through the Genbaku Dome, the skeletal remains of the only building left standing near Ground Zero. But it's an important experience, a stark reminder of the devastation and a testament to peace. Now, when it comes to food, Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki is a must-try. It's not your average pancake, oh no, it's a layered masterpiece piled high with noodles, cabbage, your choice of fillings, and a generous drizzle of that tangy okonomiyaki sauce. It's a Hiroshima institution, and while you're there, don't miss out on the local sake. Hiroshima boasts some of the best sake breweries in Japan, many of them with centuries-old traditions. You can even take a brewery tour, sample some of their finest brews, and learn about the art of sake making. Now we're off to Nara. Nara is a city that's practically frozen in time, a place where ancient history and adorable deer collide. You see, Nara was actually Japan's capital way back in the 8th century, and it's jam-packed with temples, shrines, and historical treasures. But let's be honest, the main attraction in Nara is the deer. These aren't your average deer, mind you. They're practically celebrities, roaming freely through Nara Park, and they're not shy about approaching tourists for a tasty treat. You can buy special deer crackers from vendors all over the park, and I highly recommend you do. Just be warned, they can be a bit persistent, especially if they think you've got the goods. It's all part of the Nara experience though. Now, once you've had your fill of deer selfies, it's time to explore the temples. Todaiji Temple is an absolute must-see. It houses the Great Buddha Hall, which is home to one of Japan's most impressive sights, a giant bronze Buddha statue that's over 15 meters tall. It's truly awe-inspiring. Alright, let's head south to Fukuoka, the largest city on Kyushu Island and a haven for foodies. Now, Fukuoka is known for a few things, but ramen is definitely at the top of the list, specifically Hakata ramen. This ramen is famous for its rich pork bone broth, thin noodles, and customizable toppings. And trust me, you haven't lived until you've sat down at a bustling ramen stall, ordered a steaming bowl of Hakata ramen, and slurped your way to noodle nirvana. It's a truly religious experience. But Fukuoka's culinary delights don't stop there. Oh no. This city is a street food paradise, especially at night when the yatai stalls come alive. These small, mobile food stands pop up all over the city, offering everything from grilled skewers and tempura to oden and gyoza. And you can't talk about Fukuoka without mentioning mentaiko. It's spicy cod roe, often served over rice, and it's a local delicacy. It might sound a bit strange, but trust me, it's delicious. Let's chat about Nagasaki next. Known as the second city to experience the atomic bomb in 1945. But Nagasaki is so much more than its tragic past. It's a city rebuilt with resilience. Before the war, it was Japan's main trading port with the West. Portuguese and Dutch traders brought their culture, religion, and food. Today, Nagasaki is a melting pot of influences. You'll see it in the architecture, food, and local dialect. Nagasaki rewards exploration. Get lost in the narrow, winding streets of the old town. Discover hidden temples, charming cafes, and friendly locals. Visit the Nagasaki Peace Park and Atomic Bomb Museum. It's a sobering experience and a call for peace. For something uplifting, head to Glover Garden, home to 19th century Western-style houses. And don't miss the iconic Spectacles Bridge. Alright, Sapporo, the dynamic capital of Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island. Now, Sapporo is a city that truly comes alive in winter. Imagine this: crisp, snowy streets, the air filled with the aroma of roasting chestnuts, and a festive spirit that's contagious. It's no wonder they host the legendary Sapporo Snow Festival every February, a spectacle of towering ice sculptures and snow lanterns that draws millions of visitors from around the globe. But don't think Sapporo is just a one-season wonder. Come spring, the city bursts into bloom with cherry blossoms, and the surrounding mountains offer breathtaking hiking trails. Summer brings warm days, perfect for exploring the city's parks and gardens, or indulging in a refreshing Sapporo beer. brewed locally of course. And in autumn, the leaves transform into a kaleidoscope of fiery hues, creating a scene straight out of a postcard. Now, one thing you'll notice about Sapporo is its grid-like street layout. Unlike the labyrinthine alleys of older Japanese cities, Sapporo was designed with wide, straight avenues, making it incredibly easy to navigate. This modern city planning was actually inspired by the American city of Chicago, a testament to Sapporo's openness to outside influences. But enough about the layout, let's talk about the food. Sapporo is a foodie's paradise, especially if you're a fan of seafood. Being so close to the ocean, you'll find some of the freshest seafood in Japan here. Don't miss out on trying the local specialty, jingisukan, a Mongolian-inspired barbecue dish featuring grilled lamb and vegetables. It's a real treat and a Sapporo must-try. Now Kanazawa, this city, tucked away on the coast of the Sea of Japan, is a hidden gem. Often overlooked by tourists rushing between Tokyo and Kyoto, Kanazawa is worth a detour. Steeped in history, with a preserved samurai district, stunning gardens, and rich artistic heritage. Kenroku-in Garden is one of the 3 great gardens of Japan, a masterpiece of design with manicured trees, koi ponds, and hidden pathways. Each season brings unique beauty, from cherry blossoms to autumn foliage. Kanazawa also boasts a vibrant art scene with museums and galleries. Try traditional crafts like gold leafing or browse for unique souvenirs. The samurai district, Nagamachi, transports you back to the Edo period. Visit the Nomura Samurai House, a beautifully preserved samurai home. Check out the Ninja Temple or Myoryuji Temple. It features hidden rooms, secret passageways, and trapdoors. For geisha culture, head to the Higashichaya district with its preserved tea houses. How about Kobe? And no, not the basketball player. This city's got a bit of a reputation, and no, I'm not talking about the earthquake, bless its cotton socks. I'm talking about the beef, the glorious melt-in-your-mouth Kobe beef. Now I know what you're thinking, isn't that a bit cliché? Everyone goes on about Kobe beef. And you'd be right, but there's a reason for that. It's the Wagyu, the king of cows, raised with such care and attention you'd think they were royalty. And let me tell you, the taste, it's like nothing you've ever experienced. But Kobe's more than just a slab of meat, right? It's got this fantastic blend of modern and traditional, with skyscrapers looking out over historic temples. Take a stroll down Nankinmachi, Kobe's Chinatown, and you'll be bombarded with sights, sounds, and smells. And if you're looking for something a bit more sophisticated, head over to the Harborland district for a bit of swanky shopping and waterfront dining. Honestly, Kobe's a city that's got a bit of something for everyone. Just remember to pack your stretchy trousers, because that Kobe beef, it's something else. Now, if you're looking for a bit of romance, Kobe's got you covered. Head up to the Mount Rocco Observatory for some stunning panoramic views of the city, especially at night when the lights twinkle like fireflies. It's the perfect spot for a bit of hand-holding and maybe a cheeky kiss, eh? And speaking of romance, don't miss out on the Kobe Nunobiki Herb Gardens. Next on our list is Yokohama. Now this place is often overlooked, seen as just a pit stop on the way to Tokyo. But let me tell you, Yokohama's a right diamond in the rough, full of surprises and hidden gems. First off, it's got history, buckets of it. This was one of the first Japanese ports to open up to the west back in the 1800s. So you've got this fascinating mix of east meets west everywhere you look. Take a wander around the Yamate Bluff, the old foreign settlement, and you'll find these beautiful Western-style houses like something out of a history book. And if you're keen on gardens, the Sankian Garden is a must-see. It's a beautiful blend of traditional Japanese landscaping with ponds, bridges, and even a pagoda. And for the little ones, well, Yokohama's got something truly special. Cup Noodle Museum. That's right, a whole museum dedicated to instant ramen. You can learn about the history of this iconic food, even design your own cup of noodles. Next in our adventure is Hakone. Now, if you're after a bit of peace and quiet, a bit of a break from the hustle and bustle of the big cities, then Hakone's the place for you. Nestled in the mountains, surrounded by stunning natural beauty, it's like a breath of fresh air. And the star of the show? Lake Ashi, a shimmering expanse of water that's just begging to be photographed. Take a ride on one of their iconic pirate ships. Yeah, you heard me right. Pirate ships, and soak up the views. You can even see Mount Fuji in the distance on a clear day. And speaking of views, the Hakone Ropeway is another must-do. It's a cable car that takes you up and over volcanic hot springs, with panoramic views that'll blow your socks off. Now, Hakone's known for its hot springs, or onsen as they call them here. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like relaxing in a steaming hot onsen after a long day of exploring. It's the perfect way to unwind and rejuvenate, especially if you've got achy muscles from all that walking. Get ready to pack your hiking boots and your sense of awe because we're off to Nikko. Nestled in the mountains north of Tokyo, Nikko is a place where stunning natural beauty meets intricate, colorful temples and shrines. Honestly, it's like stepping into a fairy tale, especially during autumn when the leaves turn into a fiery tapestry of reds, oranges, and yellows. Now, Nikko's main attraction is the Toshogu Shrine, a UNESCO World Heritage Site dedicated to Tokugawa Ieyasu, the founder of the Edo shogunate. This place is just ridiculous with its ornate carvings, lavish gold leaf, and vibrant colors. You'll find yourself snapping photos every 2 seconds, trust me. And keep an eye out for the famous see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil monkeys. But Nikko isn't just about shrines. You've got the breathtaking Lake Chuzenji, a volcanic lake surrounded by hiking trails and waterfalls. And speaking of waterfalls, you can't miss Kegon Falls, one of Japan's most famous, cascading nearly 100 meters down a dramatic cliff face. If you're feeling brave, take a hike up to Ryuzu Falls, known for its resemblance to a dragon's head. Okay, let's swap the grandeur of Nikko for something a little different, shall we? Get ready to be transported back in time to Takayama, a charming town nestled in the heart of the Japanese Alps. This place is like a living, breathing museum, with its beautifully preserved Edo-era streets, traditional houses, and a pace of life that's a welcome change from the neon-lit frenzy of Tokyo. Takayama's old town is a sight to behold, with its narrow streets lined with traditional wooden houses, many of which have been converted into shops, cafes, and sake breweries. You can wander for hours, browsing through local crafts, sampling delicious snacks, and soaking up the atmosphere. And don't forget to try the hita beef, folks. It's some of the most tender and flavorful beef you'll ever taste. One of the best ways to experience Takayama is to visit during one of its many festivals. The Takayama Spring and Autumn festivals are particularly spectacular, with elaborate floats paraded through the streets. Just imagine the sight of these massive, ornate structures, accompanied by traditional music and dancing. It's a true spectacle. And for you early birds, head down to the Miyagawa Morning Market, held every day along the banks of the Miyagawa River. You'll find local farmers selling fresh produce, craftspeople displaying their wares, and a vibrant atmosphere that'll kickstart your day. Let's hop on a train and head south from Tokyo to the coastal town of Kamakura. Now, Kamakura is a fascinating blend of history, spirituality, and seaside charm. You've got ancient temples and giant Buddha statues nestled amongst lush forests, all within easy reach of sandy beaches in the Pacific Ocean. It's a winning combination, if you ask me. The star attraction of Kamakura, and let's face it, the image that's probably already popped into your head, is the iconic Great Buddha statue, or Daibutsu as it's known in Japanese. This massive bronze behemoth sits in the open air at Kotoku-in Temple and has been patiently watching over Kamakura for over 750 years. Seeing it up close is an experience that'll stay with you, trust me. But Kamakura is more than just one big Buddha, oh no. You've got temples galore, each with its own unique atmosphere and history. There's the serene Hokokuji Temple, famous for its beautiful bamboo forest, perfect for a moment of quiet reflection. And then there's Tsurugaoka Hachimangu Shrine, dedicated to the god of war with its impressive red torii gates and a pathway leading up to the main building. And if all that history is making you crave some seaside air, you're in luck. Kamakura is just a stone's throw from the Pacific Ocean. Head to Yokohama Beach for some surfing, or just relax on the sand and soak up the sun. Alright folks, buckle up as we head to Nagoya, the throbbing heart of Japan's industrial powerhouse, Aichi Prefecture. Now, Nagoya might not be the first place that springs to mind when you think of Japan, but trust me on this one, it's a city that's got a lot going for it. First off, let's talk about the obvious. Nagoya is the birthplace of Toyota, and if you're a bit of a petrol head like myself, a trip to the Toyota Commemorative Museum of Industry and Technology is an absolute must. It's a fascinating deep dive into the history of the company and how they revolutionized the car industry. But Nagoya isn't all about cars and factories. The city also boasts a rich culinary scene, and one dish you absolutely have to try is hitsumabushi. This local delicacy features grilled eel served over rice, and it's an absolute taste sensation. You eat it in 3 stages. First, you savor the pure, smoky flavor of the eel, then you add some condiments like wasabi and seaweed for a bit of a kick, and finally, you pour a savory broth over it for a totally different experience. Believe me, your taste buds will be doing a happy dance. And hey, if you're feeling adventurous, Nagoya is also known for its miso katsudon, a pork cutlet on rice drenched in a rich, umami-laden miso sauce. It might sound a bit out there, but trust me, it's a flavor bomb you won't soon forget. Right then, let's talk about the sights, because Nagoya's got a fair few of those too. Nagoya Castle, with its iconic golden shachihoko, those mythical creatures with the head of a tiger and the body of a fish, is a must-see. It's a stunning reconstruction of the original Edo-era castle and offers panoramic views of the city from its top floor. Let's ditch the mainland for a bit and hop over to Shikoku, the smallest of Japan's 4 main islands. Now, Shikoku might not be as famous as its big brother Honshu, but trust me, it packs a punch when it comes to natural beauty, cultural experiences, and a pace of life that'll make you wonder why you ever lived anywhere else. First things first, Shikoku is famous for its 88-temple pilgrimage, a 1,200-kilometer, 745-mile circular route that takes you through stunning landscapes and past ancient temples. Now, you don't have to be a devout Buddhist to appreciate the pilgrimage. It's more about the journey than the destination. Walking the pilgrimage, even just a section of it, is an incredible way to connect with nature, experience traditional Japanese culture, and find a bit of inner peace. But hey, if trekking for hundreds of miles isn't your cup of tea, don't worry, Shikoku's got plenty of other tricks up its sleeve. The Iya Valley, with its dramatic vine bridges swaying precariously over deep gorges, is like stepping into an Indiana Jones film. It's a place where time seems to have stood still, and the scenery is nothing short of breathtaking. And speaking of breathtaking, the Shimanto River, known as Japan's last clear stream, is a sight to behold. Let's venture to Ise, a city in Mie Prefecture steeped in history and tradition. Ise is the spiritual heart of Japan, home to the Ise Grand Shrine. Dedicated to Amaterasu, the sun goddess, it's the most sacred Shinto shrine. Visiting the shrine is like stepping back in time. The shrine is rebuilt every 20 years, symbolizing renewal and purity. You'll find peace, tranquility, and a connection to something ancient. Outside the shrine, Okaji Yokocho offers traditional shops and delicious food. Try Takone sushi, seasoned tuna over rice, a local specialty. Don't miss the Myoto Iwa, sacred rocks symbolizing marital union. So we're off to Matsumoto, home of one of Japan's most striking castles, Matsumoto-jo. Now, most castles in Japan are known for their elegant white walls and intricate wooden structures, but Matsumoto-jo is a different breed entirely. This place is a bit of a rebel, a black sheep in the castle family with its distinctive black exterior. Imagine a dramatic backdrop of the Japanese Alps, and smack bang in the middle, you've got this imposing black fortress staring you down. It's a sight that'll stop you in your tracks, that's for sure. Matsumoto-jo isn't just a pretty face, you know. This castle has seen its fair share of action back in the feudal days. It's survived sieges, power struggles, you name it. And the crazy thing is, it's still standing strong today, a testament to the ingenuity of those Edo period architects. You can practically feel the history oozing out of the wooden floorboards as you wander through the castle's labyrinthine corridors. It's like taking a step back in time, minus the whole samurai warfare thing, hopefully. And the best part? Climbing to the top of Matsumoto-jo's main keep rewards you with panoramic views of the surrounding city and those majestic Japanese Alps I mentioned earlier. On a clear day, you can see for miles, taking in the sprawling cityscape and the snow-capped peaks in the distance. It's enough to make you want to pack your bags, move to Matsumoto, and eat soba noodles every day for the rest of your life. Alright folks, buckle up because we're heading to Tottori, a prefecture often overlooked by tourists. Tottori is home to the unique Tottori sand dunes. Yeah, you heard me right, sand dunes in Japan. These aren't your average sand dunes. They stretch over 10 kilometers along the Sea of Japan. It's like a slice of the Sahara Desert in Japan. Wander across these dunes, the wind whipping through your hair. Try sandboarding, it's like snowboarding but on sand, or hop on a camel for a leisurely ride. This place is full of surprises. There's also Mount Matoku with the stunning Sanbutsuji Temple. Perched on a cliff, it defies gravity. Visit the historic town of Kurayoshi, like stepping back in time. And don't miss Utsubuki Park's peonies in full bloom. Tottori is also known for its matsuba crab, a seafood delicacy. Let's hop on over to Kagoshima, the southernmost prefecture on Kyushu. Kagoshima is a land of fiery volcanoes, lush forests, and rich history. The star of the show is Sakurajima, one of Japan's most active volcanoes. Seeing it erupt is unforgettable. Don't worry, it's usually safe. Take a ferry and hike around the base of the volcano. Kagoshima's history goes beyond explosive mountains. It was a major player in Japan's feudal period. Visit Senganen Garden, once home to the powerful Shimadzu clan. Wander through the gardens and admire the traditional architecture. Kagoshima's subtropical climate means delicious fruit. Hit up the local markets for exotic treats. And don't miss Kagoshima's signature dish, kurabuta pork. This black pig is prized for its rich marbled meat. Imagine the most tender, flavorful pork you've ever had. Alright, we've made it to Miyajima, home of the iconic floating torii gate. And let me tell you, seeing this thing in person is something else. It's like something out of a Miyazaki film, especially at high tide when it looks like it's just floating there on the water. Now the gate is part of the Itsukushima Shrine, a Shinto shrine dedicated to the guardian deities of the island. You can actually walk right up to the gate at low tide, but honestly, I think it's more impressive from a distance. Plus, you can avoid the crowds that way. Speaking of crowds, Miyajima is a popular spot, so be prepared for a bit of a squeeze, especially during peak season. But trust me, it's worth braving the crowds for this view. And if you're lucky, you might even spot some friendly deer wandering about. They're considered sacred here, so just be respectful and don't feed them any dodgy snacks. Right, so you've seen the gate, but don't think for a second that's all Miyajima has to offer. Oh no, there's plenty more to see and do here. For starters, you can head up Mount Misen, the island's highest peak. There's a ropeway that'll whisk you up there in no time, giving you some cracking views of the Seto Inland Sea. If you're feeling a bit more adventurous, you can hike up instead. There are a few different trails to choose from, ranging in difficulty, so you can pick one that suits your fitness level, and keep your eyes peeled for wild monkeys along the way. Now let's talk food, because you know me, I can't resist a good local delicacy. Miyajima is famous for its oysters, and you can find them grilled up fresh at stalls all over the island. They're absolutely massive and delicious, especially with a squeeze of lemon. But if oysters aren't your thing, don't worry. Let's talk about Fuji 5 Lakes, and specifically, where to stay. For that picture-perfect view of Mount Fuji reflecting in a still lake, you've got options. You could splash out on a fancy ryokan with tatami floors and comfy futon beds. They often have private onsen, hot spring baths overlooking the lake. Imagine soaking in that after a long day of exploring. Alternatively, you can find lovely guest houses and pensions dotted around the area. They're often run by friendly locals who can give you the inside scoop on the best places to eat and things to see. Now, if you're on a tighter budget, don't fret. There are plenty of hostels and campsites around the lakes too. Just be sure to book in advance, especially during peak season. While Mount Fuji is the main attraction, there's more to see and do around the Fuji 5 Lakes. For starters, you've got the Fuji Q Highland Amusement Park, home to some of the most insane roller coasters. If roller coasters aren't your thing, there are boat trips, scenic cycling routes, and unique museums. And for nature lovers, there are loads of hiking trails winding through forests and up volcanic slopes. Let's head north to Sendai, a city that's come back stronger than ever. Hit hard by the 2011 earthquake and tsunami, Sendai's resilience is remarkable. They've rebuilt with a renewed sense of purpose. The subway system is clean, efficient, and easy to navigate. English signs and announcements make it accessible. For old world charm, hop on a loopless Sendai bus. It takes you to main sites like Zuihoden Mausoleum and Osaki Hachiman Shrine. Be mindful of local customs like bowing at temple entrances. Tipping isn't customary, just pay the listed price. Locals are friendly and helpful, don't hesitate to ask. Sendai is big on festivals with events like Aoba Matsuri and Tanabata. Check the local calendar for festivals during your visit. The next location is amazing as well. You're strolling through volcanic steam, the ground bubbling beneath your feet, and the air thick with the scent of, well, sulfur. Welcome to Beppu, Japan's very own hot spring haven, and more specifically, Jigoku Maguri, the hells of Beppu. Now before you get any ideas, you won't actually be dipped into any fiery pits. These hells are actually a collection of intensely colorful hot springs, each with its own unique personality. You've got Chinoiki Jigoku, the blood pond hell with its blood-red waters thanks to iron oxide. Then there's Umi Jigoku, the sea hell, a cobalt blue expanse so hot it could cook an egg in seconds. It's like stepping into a Studio Ghibli film, only with more boiling water. And you can't forget about Onishibozu Jigoku, the mud hell, where the bubbling mud resembles the shaven heads of Buddhist monks. It's a bizarre sight, but strangely mesmerizing. Each of these hells offers a glimpse into the raw power of nature, and trust me, it's a humbling experience. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom in Beppu. After your hellish tour, you can relax and rejuvenate in one of the many onsen or hot spring baths scattered throughout the city. Ah, now that's what I call a proper Japanese experience. Now, if you're traveling with the family, Beppu's got you covered. Head over to the Beppu Ropeway, which whisks you up Mount Tsurumi for panoramic views of the city and the surrounding volcanic landscape. It's a sight that'll have the kids, and let's be honest, the adults too, going, wow. And if you're feeling adventurous, take a trip to Takayama Monkey Park, home to over 1,000 Japanese macaques. These cheeky monkeys are a sight to behold as they roam freely, bathe in hot springs, and even try to steal your snacks if you're not careful. Right, let's swap the onsen for something a bit more, shall we say, spiritual? Koya-san, nestled high in the Wakayama Prefecture Mountains, isn't your average tourist destination. This place is the heartland of Shingon Buddhism, founded over 1,200 years ago by the legendary monk Kobo Daishi. Imagine this, you're walking through a dense cedar forest, sunlight filtering through the ancient trees, and a sense of tranquility washing over you. This is Okinawa, Koya-san's most sacred ground, a 2-kilometer-long cemetery that leads to Kobo Daishi's mausoleum. It's a truly awe-inspiring sight with over 200,000 tombstones, each telling a story whispered through the ages. Now here's where it gets interesting. Kobo Daishi is believed to be in a state of eternal meditation, awaiting enlightenment, and the faithful believe he'll one day awaken to save humanity. Every morning, monks make offerings at his mausoleum, a tradition that's continued uninterrupted for over a millennium. But it's not all about solemn reflection in Koya-san. You can also experience the life of a Buddhist monk by staying overnight at one of the many temple lodgings known as shukubo. These shukubo offer a unique glimpse into a world rarely seen by outsiders. You'll wake to the sound of chanting, enjoy traditional vegetarian meals called shojin ryori, and even participate in meditation sessions if you're feeling up to it. But beyond the spiritual aspect, staying at a shukubo is a truly immersive cultural experience. Imagine sleeping on tatami mats, beneath futon bedding, with the scent of incense lingering in the air. It's like stepping back in time, a world away from the hustle and bustle of modern life. And if you're lucky, you might even catch a glimpse of the monks going about their daily rituals. It's a side of Japan you won't find in your typical guidebook, and trust me, it's something you won't soon forget. Next up is Otaru. This charming port city on Hokkaido's western coast is like stepping back in time. Imagine, if you will, quaint canals lined with Victorian-era warehouses, their brick facades reflecting in the water. It's enough to make you forget you're in Japan for a minute. And speaking of canals, the Otaru Canal is the heart and soul of this place. Take a stroll along its banks, watch the boats bobbing gently, or hop on a gondola ride for a proper romantic experience. Just watch out for the seagulls. They're right cheeky beggars and'll pinch your lunch given half a chance. Now, Otaru is famous for its glass-blowing workshops, and trust me, it's mesmerizing watching these artisans work their magic. You can even try your hand at creating your own masterpiece. Just try not to set fire to anything, eh? Wouldn't want a repeat of that time in Kyoto. And before we move on, let's not forget about the food. Otaru is a seafood lover's paradise with fresh catches of the day served up in restaurants all over town. Be sure to try the kaizen dan, a bowl of rice topped with a glorious mountain of fresh sashimi. It's enough to make your taste buds sing. Right, so you've had your fill of the canal. What's next? Well, Otaru's got a trick up its sleeve, mate. Head up to the Tamiya district, perched on a hill overlooking the city. This historic area is a maze of narrow streets lined with preserved wooden buildings, some dating back to the Meiji period. It's like stepping back in time, innit? And while you're there, pop into one of the many charming cafes and treat yourself to a slice of cheesecake. Aomori, Aomori, Aomori. Now, this prefecture, located at the northern tip of Honshu, might not be the first place that springs to mind when you think of Japan. But trust me on this one, it's a hidden gem. First off, Aomori is famous for its apples. Seriously, they're everywhere, and they're not just any apples, mind you. We're talking juicy, crisp, and bursting with flavor. So, if you're an apple enthusiast, Aomori is the promised land. But Aomori isn't just about the apples, oh no. It's also home to the Nabuta Matsuri, one of Japan's most famous festivals. Imagine massive illuminated floats depicting mythical creatures and historical figures, paraded through the streets accompanied by pulsating music and enthusiastic dancers. It's a sight to behold, and it'll blow your bloody socks off. And if that wasn't enough, Aomori has a mysterious side too. Head to the Sani Maruyama site, an archaeological wonderland that'll transport you back to the Jomon period, some 5,500 years ago. Explore reconstructed pit houses, marvel at ancient artifacts, and try to wrap your head around the sheer age of it all. Well, There you have it, folks. Our whirlwind tour of the top 30 must-visit spots in Japan has come to an end. From the bright lights of Tokyo to the ancient temples of Kyoto, from the snow-capped peaks of Hokkaido to the sun-kissed beaches of Okinawa, Japan truly has something for everyone. We've explored bustling cities and tranquil countryside, delved into rich history and vibrant culture, and sampled some of the most delicious food on the planet. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for another bowl of ramen. I hope this video has inspired you to book that trip to Japan you've always dreamed of. And if you're already planning your adventure, I hope our guide helps you make the most of your time in the land of the rising sun. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, leave a comment down below with your favorite Japanese destination, and subscribe to our channel for more travel adventures. As we wrap up today's video, be sure to check out the link in the description of the video for a $25 restaurant voucher as a thank you for subscribing. And lastly, based on YouTube's algorithm and your viewing history, YouTube is recommending this next travel-related video in the top left-hand area of your screen for you to check out next. I hope you enjoy that video as well. Until next time, thanks for tuning in to Worldwide Travel Adventures.